my God.
Ow! Whoa! That'll wake you up in the morning, baby. Guys, I can tell you right now,
You guys are so
ready to
nuts.
release baseball. This is
Boys.
watermelon hail.
Doesn't look like it may not be on the ground right now, so Dick Worsham. Dude, I can't. I just can't with that name.
All right, Brady's taking over. You got double. Check this out, guys. Double stream. We're streaming the stream.
How are you doing tonight, Phoenix of the Gods?
Oh my! Not what I was expecting.
Hello, everyone. Mic check. 1, 2, 3. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Chat, let me know if you can hear.
There's your storm right there. There's your storm.
Mic check.
There's
1,
your
2,
Vince.
3. Can you hear me?
Storm. Vince. Storm. Vince. I don't know, guys.
Oh, Dave.
This is pretty good. What do you guys think?
Fantastic.
Let me know in the chat. You see Vince? Storm.
Okay, we're going to be starting shortly. Make sure to mash that subscribe and like button, everyone. Whoa, just gotten word we might have a day 2 high risk. That would be insane. The area of greatest concern that I have is right just to the south of downtown Westerville. That's moving over top of you guys right now as we speak. This is if we get really Wow, granular. Mama G, when did they come I out was with looking at a house here yesterday to buy. All right. So this is an area that is close to home for me. I have family that lives here. I have family that lives out in New Albany. I have friends that live all over this place. So that's, I guess. All right, let's crank this. And now, your local on the Meower. Ready to rock.
In a world where tornadoes and hurricanes and blizzards run rampant, destroying everything in their path, one man, no, and one team of freaks stands in their way, covering it all on one show.
We have a confirmed tornado.
From afar and from up close. That man is Stormcat 5. That team is the Stormfront Freaks. And that show, this show, is Outbreak. And Outbreak starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, now.
Well, hello everyone. Welcome to Outbreak. Just got a question. When are we starting? Listen for that countdown and you'll know when. Welcome everyone to a special edition of the Outbreak Happy Hour. I know we said we'll have Jordan Hall. Jordan Hall might be joining us. I know he's on the road. They're trying to figure out where they're going to target right now. But why are we here, guys? This could be an epic, historic, multi-day tornado outbreak. We've got a moderate risk today, Friday, March 14th. It's a massive moderate risk, guys. It's on stream right now. That includes Iowa, Missouri, Illinois, Kentucky, Tennessee, even portions of Arkansas and Mississippi. So this is a massive moderate risk that we have for today. We're going to get into all those details and more. Before we get started, I just want to thank everyone for joining. If you were on the stream last night for the podcast, we had an absolutely incredible time. Everyone in the chat, I see we got Delmar Girl checking in. We got Dave B. We got Grifter. We got Mama G and Carly checking in as well. We got Darian as well. Inspector Sassy. Denora's making sure I don't forget to hydrate. Don't worry, Denora. We got this big water bottle, so I will be hydrating all day. We got others checking in the chat. If you're watching on YouTube, if you're watching over on X or Twitter, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. We got a long day ahead of us here today. So what are we going to be talking about? Well, one, I want to go into these risks. We could have some breaking news here live on stream. We may have a day 2 high risk that the Storm Prediction Center will be issuing, which that is incredibly, incredibly rare, guys. Mama G, maybe you could find out. I'm not sure when the last time that's ever happened. So the Storm Prediction Center could be issuing a day 2 high risk for Saturday shortly. So we'll check that out. Dave B gifted 1 Stormfront Freak memberships. Thank you, Dave B. Enjoy that. Whoever got that membership, enjoy that. You now can use our emotes and everything like that. Guys, I will say this too. As we go through the stream, we're probably only going to be live for about an hour potentially. Let me know what questions you guys have. I'll do my best to answer them as they come up. If you do live in any of these risk areas, or if you do know someone that lives in these risk areas and you're wanting to know what exactly is this going to look like for me, I will be happy to help out here. But we're going to do a quick briefing. I'm going to show you guys what to expect when these storms are going to fire. They're already starting to fire. So let's start with Friday. So today, Friday, March 14th, we are expecting a very robust severe weather event. I'm just going to show you guys the probabilities here. If we zoom in, this is the moderate risk. It includes in Illinois. Let me pull up my little circle tool. It includes the cities, basically all of central and southern Illinois is in this moderate risk. It includes St. Louis. It includes Peoria, Illinois. I actually had family that grew up there. Bloomington, Illinois. Springfield, Illinois. Basically, if you live south of Chicago, your chances are in Illinois, you're in this moderate risk. Now, further to the south in Missouri. Missouri is the other big state that has a massive population in these risks. We got St. Louis. St. Louis, you're basically in the heart of this. Columbia, Missouri as well. We got West Plains, even down into southeast Missouri, Poplar Bluff, Cape Girardeau. All of those cities, basically, if you live a line from Maryville all the way down to West Plains, everything to the east of that, you're in the heart of this moderate risk. We have some very big cities. St. Louis, and then don't forget to the south in Memphis. Memphis, Tennessee, you are also in this moderate risk, all the way down into Jackson and even into Dyersburg. So Western Tennessee also is in this moderate risk. That just shows you how many people are under this moderate risk and guys, let me show you too the tornado outlook, because that is been upgraded last night. That was upgraded last night to a 15% risk. Those like little hatch marks you see, those little dotted lines through there, that means there's a risk for strong, possibly violent tornadoes. We're talking about EF2 plus. And when you see this red, this scary red here, that's basically saying within 25 miles of any point within that red circle, we've got a 15% risk of strong to violent tornadoes today. So a very dangerous day ahead of us. I know we were talking about this day being mainly a wind threat. That has changed in the last couple of days. We are now, and I think we might have just gotten a high risk right now, guys. I think we actually might have just gotten a high risk. Breaking news here, the high risk was just issued for tomorrow. So that was today. Let's really quickly take a look at tomorrow. Let's refresh this page here. There it is. There it is, guys. We officially have a high risk that has been issued for tomorrow. This is a day 2 high risk. I can't tell you how insane this is. And wow. I'm Phil. Maybe you could change our title too on YouTube if you know how to do that on StreamYard, and just put you can put date, discussing the day 2 high risk that was just issued if you can. But this is breaking news here. We have a high risk. Let's go ahead and zoom in and show you guys what we got. Where is this high risk centered? So this is centered, guys. This is like James Spann's backyard here. So he's going to be all over this. We've got Alabama is where this high risk is centered at. That includes Birmingham, Tuscaloosa, Talladega, Montgomery. You're right on the edge of it. You're not quite in it. It also goes into Mississippi as well. So this is a high risk for strong, and this is a tornado-driven high risk, guys. This is not. I mean, there could be some strong winds, but the reason why this high risk was issued is because of the fact of tornadoes. And let's go ahead and take a look at some of the cities in Mississippi that could be affected by this as well. Let's go take a look. Jackson, Meridian, and Hattiesburg. All of those 3 cities are within Mississippi. You guys are all in this high risk that was just issued not too long ago. Vicksburg, Macomb, Biloxi, you guys are also in the moderate risk. So even into New Orleans, you guys are also in a moderate risk of some strong tornadoes. We're thinking storms will initiate down there and then move to the north and east. And wow, let's take a look at these tornado probabilities here. Oh my goodness, that is not good, guys. That's scary pink here. We were just talking about today there being a strong risk for tornadoes with a 15%. Guys, this is a 30 to 44% chance. Think about if you live in Jackson. Think about if you live in Jackson, Mississippi, or Meridian, Mississippi. You have close to a 50% chance of getting an EF2 plus tornado within 25 miles of your house. That is insane. That is absolutely insane to have those kind of chances. That just shows you how potent of an environment this is tomorrow. If we go back to Alabama, let's take a look at our tornado probabilities down there. And once again, guys, this is from the Storm Prediction Center. This is the best of the best here. Tuscaloosa, Birmingham are also in that 30 to close to 50% chance of getting an EF2 plus tornado. I can't tell you how insane that is. So today will be a potent day. Tomorrow could be an even more potent day. And don't forget, guys, we've got the warnings on the bottom. Look at all the winter storm warnings and winter weather advisories we have. Some of those are out west, but also there will be a snow side of this as well. Not as much as the previous system, but and a lot of those winter storm warnings are actually for the mountains out to the west. But we do have those warnings going on the bottom there as well. So a high risk, if you are just joining us, guys, a high risk of severe weather was just issued by the Storm Prediction Center, and that high risk is centered down here in Mississippi and Alabama, and that is for Saturday, March 15th. So that was crazy. And now we're going to look at, okay, what when is this going to all go down? And I'm going to bring in Phil too here. You can comment, Phil, from time to time. But so Phil, you just saw that high risk break. My goodness, I mean, it's going to be a crazy event. Oh, sorry, you're muted. Hold on.
That's me. I think we were all kind of expecting that. Expecting that they might be coming out with that, whether today or early tomorrow. But it looks like they're pretty confident that that's how it's going to look. Certainly, also, I've been keeping an eye on the winds associated with this low. And it's right now, it's really sweeping through Texas. If you can pull up any satellite imagery or
wow,
play through. I mean, it's ripping up dust. Like you can see the dust ripping up through North Texas right now. Wow. It is it's absolutely crazy because those aren't clouds. If you happen to look at some of that looks like cirrus ripping through North Texas. That's dust that it's stirring up.
Wow. Look at that. Hold on.
Dust.
Look at that. Right there. Right in there. Right?
Yep.
Wow. Yeah, guys, that is so here, guys, here you got your center of your low pressure right here. You've got winds absolutely screaming off the backside here, wrapping around this low, and this right here, that is dust. That is dust in Texas and Oklahoma, and I think Sierra Lindsay too was sending me pictures of that, so I might be able to pull some of that up. But there is a big fire danger here in Texas because of all these winds. But this just shows you how strong of a storm this actually is. You can see these winds. They're close to hurricane force. If we go to this is a real-time analysis. Look at this. We have winds close to hurricane force down here in Texas and even up in, and this is what we said was going to happen, guys, days ago here on our YouTube page. We were talking about these winds, but these winds are all just wrapping around the center of this low pressure, and that's what's going to fuel a lot of these storms today, unfortunately. And I think, Phil, there's not really much at this point in the forecast that can go wrong. We're going to look at some of those we call them fail modes. Well, is there a chance that this severe weather threat could bust? We'll look at that, but everything is kind of coming into place here for a massive severe weather outbreak. But that is absolutely insane. Some of the satellite, and I do want to show you guys too. Look at let me go back and let's take a look at this over here. Look at this line, guys. You can already see, okay, where are our storms going to initiate today? Right along this line, right there. You're already seeing storms start to pop right along, but that will be where a lot of your storms start to fire. Some of them already started to fire. You'll actually notice, though, that some of those clouds are actually thinning, so the convection's weakening a little bit. So I'm thinking it'll probably dissipate, and then a new line will form right behind it as these winds crank around.
At central Oklahoma right now there, Brady, you've got it. They're already starting to initiate. They're in eastern Oklahoma.
Yeah,
that'll probably be the line to keep an eye on.
It will, and it'll pop, guys. We'll see it pop like that on radar. It'll pop incredibly quickly. If we do look at radar really quickly, I just want to show you guys what radar looks like, what we're looking at right now. Because when we have events like this, guys, it is so important to look at models are great for today. Models, I'm going to be honest, I'm not even really looking at a lot of models for today. I'm going to look at how it's doing on radar, what it looks like on satellite, what are some of the real-time trends. That's probably the most helpful for today. And this was that line that we talked about that you could see on satellite here. We already have some showers and storms moving through Kansas City. They moved through Springfield earlier, but notice how they're dissipating. So that line will actually dissipate, and there'll be a new one that'll reform possibly right along that boundary. And that line of storms will be your catalyst. That'll be where a lot of that action happens this afternoon and evening. Notice how down here in Springfield, that line is really starting to dissipate. So we'll see it dissipate, but then we'll see it come back and regenerate this afternoon. When it does so, that is when we are worried about these strong, long track tornadoes that we've been talking about all stream. Okay, and interestingly enough, down here in Little Rock too, we do have some storms ongoing. These storms, this will be interesting how this will affect the forecast down here, because we're just outside of the moderate risk down here. We're not expecting we're not expecting incredibly potent storms or as potent as further to the north. So it will be interesting to watch how those unfold and how these storms down here that have fired a little bit earlier than expected affect the forecast for today. Okay. So we looked at the visible satellite. That is that is a really cool image to look at on visible. If we go to true color here, that's just, it's the beginning of history potentially today. So we'll have to look at that. Okay. So what are we expecting today? What's the forecast? What's the timing? And we got Friendly Neighborhood Duck can confirm the Little Rock storms. This is the This is the third. Wow, this is the third day 2 high risk in history. I knew this was historic. So this was the third time the Storm Prediction Center has ever issued a day 2 high risk. It literally in since they've been doing this. So that is wild, and that just goes to show you how rare this could be, how historic this could be. It still could bust, right? And we're going to look at that as we go throughout the stream. But thank you for that. I believe that's Lucy. Thank you. Okay, so what's going to happen over the next 24 hours? Let's take a look at the Euro. We're already looking at our storm is bombing out, right? So here's our big catalyst for all this severe weather is this low. We'll have this very strong low pressure, 977 millibars. It's actually a little bit weaker than we thought it could be about a week ago. We thought, some models were showing it like down in the 960s. So still a very potent, strong low pressure. What will happen as we go throughout the day on Friday? Notice it'll push to the north and east. It really won't strengthen much during the day, but that won't matter because we'll have some very strong winds wrapping around the backside, driving these storms to the north and east. And with that, we'll also have some pretty significant turning of the winds. Watch as we look at our 500 millibar here. This is not good. This is not what you want to see. See this jet streak at the 500 millibar level. That will help vent a lot of our storms. That'll help facilitate a lot of our storms and help drive a lot of our storms to the north and east. And notice too how we kind of have this divergent pattern. So you have some winds going this way, some winds going that way. That will actually help vent some of our storms. So think about like a hurricane. When I say vent, right? That's when air rises, it can only go so high before it hits the top of the atmosphere and then either sinks or it goes somewhere else. And in this case, it'll go somewhere else because the winds at the high points of the atmosphere will help push it away. So that'll help give the storm, that'll help the storm breathe more. And storms that do form should last longer and be stronger generally because of that venting. You never like to see that. That is a bad sign. And will be a catalyst of a lot of our really strong storms today. As you go throughout the night, notice how that low will kind of continue pushing off to the north and east. And actually tomorrow we'll have a more broad trough that moves through, a little bit of a different energy that pushes through, but that'll be our catalyst for a very strong tornado outbreak down here in the southeast. And that is not what you want to see if you are if you're not looking for tornadoes, that is not the signal you want to see. So even, very potent system will push through tomorrow. Let's take a look at the timing. Let's take a look at the timing on this and map out when exactly this is going to hit, because we already are seeing storms pop along that kind of front there. Now, the HRRR does pick that up. Check that out here in Missouri. There is that kind of little bit of shower and storm activity that we're seeing right now. Notice how by 3, that's gone. And we're already seeing it dissipate. But watch behind it. Watch by about 4, 5, 6 p.m. That's when these storms pop right here in Missouri. And they're going to pop just like that. There'll be nothing, and then an hour later, there'll be these massive, possibly either a line of storms or these isolated supercells. And then as we go into Friday afternoon and evening, watch how this line really gets organized. And notice on the northern side, there's more of like a line. It's not as organized as it was. But look at on the south side, guys. Those are isolated. Those are a little bit more isolated supercells. We can zoom in here. Let's look at. See if I can zoom in on Missouri. Yeah, check that out, guys. Notice how this is a broken line of storms. That is not what you want to see if you are not hoping for tornadoes, right? So the fact that this is a little bit more of like a broken line rather than an actual like squall line, that's bad news here for folks in Missouri. So by about 9 p.m., we could be looking at several supercells and then going into 10, 11, 12. This threat's going to go well into the night, guys, into Illinois and Indiana. I think, by the time the line reaches Indiana, the tornado threat should be decreasing. But, Missouri, Illinois, Tennessee, from about 8 p.m. through, let's just say 1, 2, 3 a.m. That is your, and that's Eastern time. That is your area. That is your kind of time window of greatest concern.
So Brady, I know it's hard for you maybe to allow a share screen, but if you want to take a look at, I've got a traffic cam near Fort Worth where you can see the dust. That's a still image. And then I'm also going to share, I've got a live one up near Tulsa.
Yeah.
So let me share that one. And again, you can just see the dust you were talking about in the dirt earlier.
Yeah.
How it's really hard to see. Probably you get out to a mile out, and it really gets more difficult.
Wow.
To see. And that's just the dust that's from all that wind. There's some strong winds coming through.
Yeah, that's wild. That is wild. It looks hazy out, right?
Yeah.
It looks literally like it's like there's a haze in the air. And that is all from that really strong wind that's wrapping around the backside and that will act as the catalyst for our severe weather today. So, wow. That's cool, Phil. And guys, let us know if you're in Oklahoma, if you're in Texas, if you are seeing any of that dust. But let's go ahead and look. Now what I want to look at, so we looked at the timing for today. Missouri, let's look at why we're so concerned for today. And look at it. This is the tornado parameter. This is the significant tornado parameter. And between yesterday and today, that is really uptrended for portions of Missouri. I mean, we're talking about, guys, this is basically maxed out tornado parameter. And so if we do have any storms that can kind of take root in this environment, we're looking at tornadoes in Missouri and in Illinois, and even if there are any storms that occur down here in Arkansas, which I think there will be some, we could be looking at a tornado threat down there. Notice after about 12 to 1 to 2, notice how our tornado parameter is still there, but it decreases as we go throughout the night. That's at least some of the good news for now, is that even though we will have storms, the tornado threat should decrease as we go well into the night. It still be, won't be non-zero though, guys. Notice how we still have a significant tornado parameter of at least 2 to 4 here. So that just shows you conditions. I mean, while they will fluctuate, guys, we're talking about 36 hours potentially of on and off tornado warnings from now until Sunday morning. So that is not good. Let's look at the helicity track. Oh my gosh. Oh my, this is the first time I've seen this on this model. Oh my. Yeah, so we're looking at now. Crazy. That is not good. Let's zoom in on Missouri. Let's zoom in on Missouri. So what we're looking at now, guys, this is helicity, and this is basically like the thunderstorms use helicity to rotate, right? So the brighter the more red the color, the more likely we are to have thunderstorms that are rotating and potentially dropping tornadoes. Look at this. When you see this is basically, oh my gosh. Oh my, that's basically saying like a thunderstorm that formed down here took this path and then was rotating and possibly dropping a tornado the entire time. That's what this model is saying, at least. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but this model, the HRRR, is saying that, wow. I mean, that just absolutely paints almost the entire state, the entire eastern part of the state of Missouri in these tracks. That is, oh my gosh, wow. And then if we go to, and if we overlay where our storms would be, just look at this. These are our, guys, look at these on, look at this on reflectivity. And granted, this is I always like to look at reflectivity last because it can be deceiving. But some of these storms, I mean, each of these are fairly isolated from one another. This one, this one, this one. All of these storms, that's where it's getting our helicity tracks from. If I go back to the If I go back to the helicity here, it'll show you where exactly that storm's coming from. So notice, as the storms roll through, it drops these tracks down. That is insane. I think we got Hunter as well. Hunter, I'll bring you in as well. Feel free to chime in. It is. We were just looking at the helicity tracks right now for these storms today, and it's not looking good.
Yeah, give me 1 second. I will step outside and turn my camera on real quick.
Oh yeah, you're no worries. No worries. Okay. All right, guys. Now the other thing that I like to look at is will we have enough energy? There'll be plenty of CAPE here. The CAPE in Missouri won't be off the charts. It'll be enough. When you have these wind-driven, if you have these very strong wind profiles, these very strong winds, sometimes you don't need a lot of CAPE. A lot of times that'll overcome the kinematic. You hear me say kinematics. That's like the way the winds are, the way the winds change with height. That's wind shear plus how strong the winds are. A lot of times, and the lift that you have, and close to the low like we are, that can overcome low CAPE. So I wouldn't worry about the CAPE at this point. We'll have plenty to make this a crazy day. All right, we want to go ahead and bring in Hunter Hurley. Hunter, we're talking about these updraft helicity tracks as well as the storms for today. What have you seen? What's caught your attention? What do you think today is going to be like?
So what we initially thought to be a more QLCS system going through central Missouri is obviously becoming more of a broken band of semi-discrete supercells is what I've been noticing. Like you mentioned, those UH tracks going through there. We saw that 15% moderate and the 10% hatch get expanded westward with the 1730Z outlook, or is that 1630 outlook? I'm sorry. But as you can see here in Kansas City, it's sticky out here now. We just had a morning round of showers come through. I'm currently in Kansas City, Missouri. I actually just got off work. I saw my uniform on, so I'm going to go change in my car here in a minute and start heading out eastward towards Columbia, Missouri. But it is humid out here. The dew points have, I don't know how much they've been raised by, but it's quite humid out here following this initial band of showers and thunderstorms. So we're currently just waiting for the Q field to build up, MCDs to come out and get on with a long day of a long weekend of severe weather.
Yeah, and you're kind of, Hunter, you're right on the, right now Kansas City is right on the kind of the northeast of that low, so you're still getting that warm, moist air that's pushing up. It'll be, I think in a couple of hours, some of the dew points I'm looking at behind this system, we're looking at 10 to 20. So there's no moisture on the backside of this storm. We actually have a dry line down there in Texas. So you'll go from dew points of 50s to possibly now into the 20s in just a matter of time. So are you going to be chasing? You said you are going to be chasing today, Hunter?
Yeah, so I'll be leaving for around the Columbia, Missouri area here within the next few minutes. How do I turn my camera around on? I don't know.
Whatever you do is definitely be safe, my friend, because today could be a very nasty day, and we are seeing that moisture return right now, guys. If we look, this is the current dew points that we have. So up here in Kansas City, that's where Hunter is. We've got dew points of almost 50 degrees Fahrenheit. Notice down here in the south, that's where we've got these 60-degree dew points that are starting to make their way up to the north. And even you'll notice over the past couple of hours, watch the moisture pushing to the north. We'll just kind of let this play here. This was Thursday, March. This is Friday. Going into Friday night, notice how not a lot of moisture here. Going into Saturday, check it out. Or sorry, this was last week. My bad. Whoops, that was last week. And notice, okay, this is Thursday. This is Thursday, March 13th. Notice as we go into Thursday night, we got our moisture starting to work its way up. So I don't even think we need dew points in the 60s for a large tornado outbreak here in Missouri, but I think we will. It's right. 60-degree dew points are right on Missouri's doorstep here in Arkansas. So as that low wraps up, those dew points, that moisture will continue to stream to the north. That'll be a big problem here for folks in Missouri.
I got my camera around. Camera's turning around now.
Oh, you got some crazy hair, Hunter. Whoa.
Yeah, man. Letting it letting it go out. I'll be cutting here pretty soon with my winter style.
That's
but
wild.
actually, if you can see, I don't know if you can see well my windshield. I'm just gonna turn around here. This is all brand new precipitation. This is like dirt rain that fell on my car earlier. This wasn't here 30 minutes ago. We had lots of dry precipitation fall with this, and it was just a really dirty rainfall. There's just spots of dust all over my windshield.
Wow.
You can only imagine what's happening in Texas right now with their dust storms and whatnot.
Brother, I think I need to grow out hair. I think I need to grow out hair like that. I think if I did that, it would be pretty. How long did it take you to grow that out?
Let's say November.
Wow. That's
November
epic.
to now, and it was pretty short when I got it cut in November.
Yeah, exactly. Hunter's got the Chaser Hair Edition, exactly.
The Chaser Hair, yeah. So when it blows in the wind, it looks badass. Excuse the language.
It does. It does.
Hey, there's Brady. I've got the skyline of Tulsa pulled up that you can barely see because of the dust and dirt.
Wow.
It's back there if you can see it, but you can barely.
I can.
Barely make it out.
It looks like a I would almost akin it to like when there's a bunch of smog in a downtown metroplex because a cap or something like that or an inversion. That's what it looks like, guys. But that is not smog. That is dust, and that is all from that strong low that's just ramping up these winds. And a lot of those trees don't have leaves on them, but I bet if they did, you'd see them really swaying in the wind because. You can even tell that the tree in the middle is kind of moving from left to right. So a very, very potent low that we're having that you can already, even though there's no storms, the winds are coming. This event is going to happen. It's just a matter of how bad the individual storms are going to be. Okay. So let's look at the timing too. And I did notice we had someone here from Columbus, Ohio, who's wondering about the severe weather threat here. I'm actually also in Columbus, Ohio, so I don't think we're going to be too bad here, but we'll definitely have to be weather aware. But let's go ahead and take a look at the timing for Saturday. So we looked at Friday. Friday could be a very bad day, and the threat will go well into the night and actually down in. And I don't want this to be lost on anyone. But down here in the deep south, and this is now the latest model, down here in the deep south where we have our moderate risk for the day on Saturday, guys, we'll have some storms that pop on Friday. Look at this nasty storm down here that's in Mississippi. So we'll have storms in the south where we have our high risk tomorrow. We'll have storms down there today. And look at this. I think we might have a supercell here too. Let's look at the helicity tracks here. Look at that. So guys, there's a non-zero tornado threat down here in the deep south in Mississippi and Alabama today. There still is some storms that are going to be rotating and that could be dropping a tornado or two. So folks down here in the south where we do have the high risk tomorrow, don't let your guard down because we could have storms. This is going to be a 36-hour type event for you guys where you're going to need to be on alert for those weather warnings. The interesting part is, as we go into Friday night, continuing into Saturday morning, the big question, and this is the one fail mode that I see. When I say a fail mode, this is like, okay, we've got a high risk tomorrow. I always look for what could possibly keep the event from materializing? What could cause the event to bust, right? You often hear that term. And this is the only fail mode that I can see. This is the only bust potential that I can see is if this complex of storms that we have up here, if it hangs around for a lot of the day. If it hangs around for a lot of the day on, into Saturday morning and going into Saturday afternoon, that could actually limit, when I say warm sector, think, areas of where we have high dew points, the sun's out, destabilizing the environment. If those storms stick around for a good part of the day, that could actually possibly stabilize the environment and cause not as severe of storms to form. That's the only fail mode I'm seeing. All the other conditions are in place for a massive outbreak. Let's go back to 12Z to see what the 12Z run said. And interestingly enough, this was the 12Z HRRR. They have this complex of storms Saturday morning quickly clearing out to the north. And that means that our storms down here will have plenty of time the environment will have plenty of time to recover. They'll have plenty of time to destabilize. And that right there is your tornado outbreak. These storms down here, notice how they all kind of have this like U shape. That's the model saying there's going to be supercells down here right along that boundary. And notice as they continue moving off to the east. I mean, guys, these almost look like supercells on the models. So that just shows you how bad that tomorrow could be. Now, the timing of this. So in the morning, we could have some shower and thunderstorm activity ongoing in Mississippi, ongoing in Alabama. That I think northern Mississippi, northern Alabama will have pretty much showers and storms for the most of the day. Some of those could be strong to severe. Some of those could be tornadic. Some of those could pack some large hail and some strong winds. But the main event is going to come Saturday afternoon. Watch right there. Saturday starting at about 2 p.m., these storms start to pop down here in Louisiana. That will be our main event for tornadoes on Saturday as these storms build up in that atmosphere. Let's do 2 p.m., 3 p.m., 4 p.m. So Louisiana and Mississippi from about 1, let's just say 1 p.m. to about 4 p.m. That's your window of greatest concern, is those storms as they pop. Then as we go in Alabama from about 3 p.m., let's just say 3 p.m. through 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, we could be looking at this threat continuing into the night for Alabama, even into Georgia. Look at this. As that line pushes into Georgia, it almost re-strengthens here, and we could be looking at a tornadic threat into Georgia. Let's take a look at our helicity tracks here. Oh my gosh. That is not good. That is not good at all. So notice how we looked at the helicity tracks up here in Missouri. These are more helicity tracks down here in Georgia. Once again, the closer to red, like the closer to pink, that's just basically saying the storm's rotating more, possibly dropping a strong tornado across. We're going to be dealing with strong, intense, possibly long-lived, violent tornadoes tomorrow, guys. That's all but certain, except for that one fail mode that I said. If that doesn't happen, unfortunately, I think tomorrow will be a day we remember for a long time.
Hey, Brady, to jump in quick, because we talked about with the wind fire hazard. If you want to pull up the Amarillo radar for Amarillo, Texas, it looks like there is a wildfire breaking out near McLean, just east of Amarillo on Interstate 40.
Oh, yeah. There it is. So that's guys. This is a wide-ranging, very impactful system. Not to be lost is there is a critical fire risk for today, and we already are seeing I wonder if we could get a traffic camera from there. It's right along the freeway. I bet we could, Phil. If they have.
I'll see what we got.
Okay, it's right along Interstate 40 here. We've got an active fire that has broken out. You can tell right here, this plume. That is a 100% a wildfire that has broken out, and it's moving. It's going to be moving east, right towards the town of McLean. Looks like it actually is broken out in Allen Reed, and will be moving. I mean, this is going to be spreading very quickly here, guys. These fire conditions that we're talking about, these are like, I mean, these aren't as particularly strong as there aren't winds of 100 miles an hour like California. We are getting wind gusts of 50, 60, possibly even 70 miles an hour. So these are very, very dangerous fire conditions out here. And I believe we actually have, on top of our moderate risk, guys, we also have a critical fire risk. And that's right where that fire is broken out, right here in Amarillo, is right in this. This is extreme. This is not critical. This is extreme. This is the highest level of fire risk that you can get. And this is the fire's broken out right here in Amarillo, it looks like. But this Lubbock, Midland, these are all places that we chased, Phil, this year Oklahoma City, Norman, you guys are also in this extreme fire weather risk. Hunter, where you are, Kansas City, they're in that critical risk. So this is another part of this storm system, guys. It's a wide-ranging storm system with a lot of impacts.
Ready, I will jump in here real quick and say that a MCD for the Kansas City Metro and eastward has just been issued with a 95% watch probability to it.
Wow. Okay, let's look.
And there is a pretty good deepening queue field in southeast Kansas, and it's deepening northward at the time as well. So looks like we are about to get a severe, I want to say a severe thunderstorm watch here pretty soon.
Yeah, this is so guys, what Hunter is saying is we just got a mesoscale discussion, right? And I think this is mesoscale. Yeah, 170 is the number. And it looks like there's a 95% chance of getting a watch here. Let me just show you. 95% chance of getting a watch here. And Hunter, it does kind of look like a severe thunderstorm watch, although they do mention there is there is some peak intensity of tornadoes, but it does kind of feel like they might issue a severe thunderstorm watch here based upon what I'm seeing. Let's look down in the here in the discussion to see what we got cooking. Potential for large hail. Okay, potential for large hail and a few tornadoes may begin to increase prior to sunset for southwestern and northwestern Arkansas. So this could be a severe thunderstorm watch. This could be a tornado watch. The point is 95% chance of getting a watch issued sometime within the next couple of hours. And they're basically calling out that western portion of Missouri, right along where that line, guys, right along where that boundary that we showed you, that is where the watch is going to be issued. You'll see it's dying right now, but it's going to re-strengthen very quickly. Yeah, is that discussion the long brown shape? Yes, it's this here. I'll just draw a circle. It's right in there. Right in there is where they would issue that watch. Most likely, and it could be a tornado watch, it could be a severe thunderstorm watch, so we'll just have to see. They don't actually sometimes they'll tell us in these, but they don't actually say in the actual discussion, I don't believe. Now, interestingly enough, okay, this is actually very important right here. Any initial discrete thunderstorm development seems likely to be short-lived with a rapid upscale growing line expected. So, interesting. Okay. So the Storm Prediction Center here seems to think that we'll get a line that will form. And I think that's expected, right? We knew there was going to be a line that'll form. But the Storm Prediction Center here is calling out that they think these will start as a line of storms, or it might start as discrete, but it'll quickly form into a line. And the extent of the hail and tornado threat remains a bit unclear. And however, guidance is suggestive that a bit more low-level moisture return ahead of that developing line across northwestern Arkansas in the southwest and south-central Missouri might support increasing potential. Okay, so this is exactly what we talked about. How the moisture isn't yet there, right? If we take a look at our real-time analysis, the moisture is still trapped down here in, we're talking about dew points of greater than 60, right? That the more moisture you have in the air, generally the more fuel you get for storms. Storms need moisture, right? They need, because think about it, they're made up of water vapor. They need moisture to be able to form. So we generally look for 60 degree Fahrenheit or above. And right now, those are all trapped down in Arkansas, Texas, and Louisiana. So that's exactly what the Storm Prediction Center are talking about. If we look up here in Missouri, Illinois, and Iowa, we still got dew points of 40, 50, 55 plus. So we need those to go up a little bit more if we're going to have a widespread outbreak here. We just got a third wildfire alert west of El Reno, Oklahoma. So we've got wildfire alerts kind of going up here.
Yeah, if you want, Brady, you can pull up. You can see the El Reno one if you pull up the Norman, Oklahoma radar, and then.
Oh yeah, there it is.
And notice
right there.
the thing. Look at how far that plume is going. Just to give you an idea of the winds associated with this, it is just cranking it across the entire state.
Wow. Yeah, and guys, once it's if you zoom out, look at that. Once it starts, guys, once a wildfire like this starts, you're gonna have to wait till it's you firefighters can only do so much in these kind of conditions.
And then if you can pull up the radar just north of Oklahoma City, you'll also see the one near Lede or Lede.
Oh yeah, right there. That's a big one. Wow. So we've got three active wildfires right now. 2 in Oklahoma, 1 in Texas, and this one looks like a big one right here. Look at that. Any luck on the cameras, Phil?
No, I'll tell you what. I did pull up another Oklahoma camera. Let me expand this, and you can get an idea at least of the winds. It's really blowing. Camera's really kind of moving. This is North Oklahoma, but nothing on the fires, specifically on the fires.
Okay. Wow. Well, that is here, we'll pull that up real quick. Yes, I mean, look at that. Just look at the camera shaking and look at this. I mean, that is all just dust. Is that dust or smoke, Phil?
No, that's got to be dust from the location.
Okay. Yeah, Hunter, you'll have to let us know if you can see any as you drive, because this smoke plume is almost reaching. If it keeps going like this, it's gonna, it's going into Kansas right now. So I would bet people, in Kansas are gonna start to smell smoke in like Anthony and maybe up into Wichita eventually from this. Okay. Oh yeah. Good call, Christine. I got to turn my warning sounds on. Okay. All right. So guys, let us know what questions you guys have in the chat too about this. Thank you for everyone for watching us today. If it is your first time, make sure you smash that like button, smash that subscribe button if you are liking what you're seeing. We are covering we're just discussing the weather today, the weather tomorrow. We're discussing both the moderate risks that we have, the one moderate today, and then actually the high risk that was just issued by the Storm Prediction Center tomorrow. We're discussing what that will look like, what the timing is of that, and then when our severe weather will start. We've also got fires ongoing right now in Texas and Oklahoma. This is all related to that same storm system that is absolutely bombing out and cranking up right now as we speak. Now, I do want to talk because we started to talk about the severe weather tomorrow and the timing on it. I think really let's go back to the HRRR. Gosh, I'm gonna be honest, I hate it when people call it that, and I can't. I can barely say her, but I don't know. Let us know in the chat. Hunter, do you say her or HRRR?
I say her.
Okay.
I am going to go ahead and disconnect and start driving out east a little bit. If you're still live within 30 minutes, I may join back in. If not, good luck today, guys.
Hunter, any final thoughts on today or tomorrow?
Today, not really. Tomorrow, I want to ask you and Phil, what was your initial thoughts when you saw that they were going to issue a day 2 high risk? I don't know if you saw the word buzzing around on Twitter. There was a rumor about 30 minutes beforehand on Twitter that they were going to issue a day 2 high. What's your thoughts on it?
That they were going to issue it? I don't know. I mean, you're asking me how my feelings on weather Twitter predicting.
No. What's your feelings about them issuing the day 2 high? How do you What's your reaction to the day 2 high now that it's out?
Oh, I certainly think it's legitimate, and I certainly think that will continue to get more eyeballs and ears on what's going on and warn people ahead of time. Certainly I've got a fear tonight with some of the overnight risk potential in people sleeping and not having ways to get informed. But I certainly feel the risk is legitimate, and especially, Brady was just showing, some of the helicity tracks and the moisture and with the wind associated with this low, there's going to be something that's going to be nasty, whether it's the winds, whether it's tornadoes. There's going to be nasty weather. So I feel it's legit, certainly. What do you think?
I wish I was down there.
Yeah. It'll be a crazy. Well, it is interesting how a lot of the chasers, I think, have a decision they're going to have to make. Are they going to try to chase the tornado threat today? Because the tornado threat today is more in Missouri, and then tornado threat tomorrow is more Alabama, Mississippi. So they've got to, they could probably chase both. It'll just be a lot of driving in a very short amount of time. But Hunter, it's a great question. My thoughts, and I actually put this on Twitter a day and a half ago. I expected a high risk for sure. Just because of the conditions. I was a little surprised they issued it now. I thought they were going to issue it tonight, but I think this goes to show you, because normally the Storm Prediction Center is they like to be cautious because a lot can go wrong. A lot has to go right for a severe weather event to happen, for a tornado outbreak event to happen. You have to have a lot, as we've seen. Remember the past week and a half, I wouldn't say those events busted, but they didn't realize they didn't realize their ceiling. So there's a lot that has to go right. I mean, there's a severe weather to have tornadoes. You have to have, like 6 or 7 different ingredients all there. So I think this tells me that the Storm Prediction Center those fail modes we talk about, they probably don't see many. And so they're like, okay, well, the ingredients are all going to be there. There's probably the potential for it to bust is low. So they're like, let's issue the high. Because normally I think they hold back because there's a lot of these fail modes that could go wrong. I don't think we're going to have that this time. I only see one fail mode. That's probably why they issued that high risk, I think. That's my guess. Cool. Well, Hunter, great work.
Safe travels, Hunter.
Be safe. Everyone in the chat is telling you to be safe. So please, my friend, be safe and be well, and best of luck. Godspeed.
Thank you, guys. Have a good one, y'all.
You too.
Hey, Brady, I do have, if you want to pull up the screen share, I do have a shot. This is actually near McLean, Texas, where there is a wildfire currently. From the image, you can't necessarily tell where it's at, but again, you can see the dust, and some of that could now be smoke as well.
Yeah, wow. That does look like smoke because of how heavy it is and how close to the ground it is. We definitely could have smoke with that. So we do have 3 active wildfires right now in Texas and Oklahoma, 2 in Oklahoma, 1 in Texas. Wow. Phil, good catch on those too, because you could see those absolutely on radar easily. Yeah, that's smoke. People in the chat are all saying that's smoke. So if you are in Texas, Oklahoma, you're not in the tornado threat, but you do have a dangerous fire weather threat today. So please, let's avoid campfires today. Let's avoid gender reveals. If you're doing a gender reveal, please just pop a balloon. Let's not have any sort of explosive fireworks for gender reveals today.
Don't chuck your cigarettes out your window.
Yeah, no cigarettes out the window. Try not to do that. So, yeah, it is apocalyptic, Inspector Sassy. You're right. Okay, we did get one question in the chat about the timing, afternoon start time. Yeah, Samuel, we're going to have storms that start today around 5 to 6 to 7 p.m. We're also going to have storms that fire tomorrow really all day in the deep south. So we actually looked at that earlier in the show, but just one last reminder, we're going to have storms are going to fire today, this afternoon, between now and probably about 5, 6, 7 p.m. Broken line of storms where we'll have a tornadic threat here. That'll be our tornadic threat today with a non-zero tornadic threat down here in Mississippi. And then going into the night tonight, we'll have those storms continue pushing off to the east, and we'll have an overnight tornadic threat that basically goes from like central and northern Illinois all the way down into Arkansas, and then going into Tennessee. That'll be our tornado. This is the area I'm most concerned for tonight, for some possibly long track tornadoes that do form. And then going overnight, that line will continue pushing to the east. And let's go back to the 12Z so I can show you. As it does so, it'll slowly dissipate, and then another line will actually reform down here in the south. And that's where we're concerned about our tornadic threat down there. Places like Mississippi, Alabama, and Georgia, that's where we have our high risk that's been issued. Okay. Guys, what did I miss? Everyone in the chat, what did I miss? Is there any other topics you want to see? Anything else I didn't cover? Any questions you guys have? We'll pull up the sounding here too. Yikes. Guys, this is the sounding for tomorrow too. Look above. Possible hazard type. Not good. PDS tornado. So a couple things I want to point out. This is from Saturday. This is the sounding. A lot of you guys see this on social media. This is called skew T-plot. There's a lot on here, so we won't get too much into the weeds here. But a couple of things that I look for when I look for this. One, see this kind of red line, this scary looking red line. That's like your temperature. So you get like a balloon, you launch it up in the atmosphere every however often, maybe every quarter, every like couple hundred feet, it takes the temperature and says, okay, the temperature at the surface here, 72. The temperature up here about 1 kilometer in the atmosphere, that's probably like, let's just say that's like 71 or like 68. And so it plots it on this red line. This other line, I don't want to get too much in the weeds on that, but that's basically the difference between this line and the red line right in here where I'm drawing this green line. That is your cape, right? So anytime you see the bigger the area in there, the bigger the cape. So that's one thing I'm looking for. So we'll have plenty of energy here, plenty of cape. You'll also notice they have like a number down here, 2,641. Plenty of cape. The other thing I look for on soundings like this is here's the hodograph up here. If you guys know who Hodo Daddy is, Cameron Nixon, he's a pro at this, but hodographs basically tell you the wind direction and speed with height. So what you do not want a U shape like this. That basically shows you the winds are changing direction and speed with height, right? Almost like they're turning and twisting. You do not want that. That is very conducive for tornadoes. And so when you see a U shape like this on the hodograph, that's also something I'm looking for tornadic outbreaks. Another thing that is important to look at is the shear. Right here, you're looking for values of 30 to 40 to 50 plus knot shear. We've got that here. Check it out. We've got 35 from 0 to 1, 47, 58. So plenty of shear. This SRH, that storm relative helicity, that's also bad. We don't want values greater than 200. Greater than 200, that is scary, scary bad. And we've got values of 2 to 300, close to 400 here. So that's another thing I look for. That is not great. And all of that is why possible hazard type is PDS tornado. So not good. That is not good at all. Oh, we got Inspector Sassy here. gifted some sub 5 memberships here. Oh gosh, I'm trying to play the animation. I think my thing is turned off. Oh, it's falling apart. Just dropped some. Thank you, Inspector Sassy, for gifting those memberships, my friend. Enjoy all the emotes, everyone that just got access to free emotes. That is amazing. Yeah, that's a lot of cape for our area here. Wow. The nudger theory as well. Yep, Cameron Nixon's notes for that. Carly asked, "What's sin?" So that is actually cape. Think about cape as like your storm energy. That's like Gatorade for storms, right? So that helps fuel storms. Sin is like it's the opposite of cape. So it actually helps air sink, right? So when you have more sin, the air generally sinks versus rise. So if cape is Gatorade, what's the opposite of Gatorade, Phil? Help me come up with something. What's
beer?
like something? Air?
Beer.
Oh yeah, yeah, exactly.
Slow you down a little bit. Not good for you.
Exactly. Cape. That's perfect. Sin is like cape is like Gatorade. Sin is like beer when you're trying to run a marathon. Or water. Or yeah, you guys. Water still helps you though. Think about if you're trying to run a marathon. The last thing you want to do is drink some beer. That's awesome. Guys, show Inspector Sassy some massive W's in the chat. Thank you, Inspector Sassy, for that awesome donation here. All right, one more sounding here. This is for the day. This is for today. And this is centered right in that moderate risk. Notice how we still got a pretty good U shape here. We've got some pretty good storm relative felicities. We've got plenty of shear. The one question right now is the moisture, right? The moisture, will this 53, will that be able to increase to about 60? I don't know if it will, but if this number gets higher and higher and higher, that we could be looking at some trouble here. Notice how the cape isn't as high either. So not as much Gatorade for that storm. And possible hazard type is only tornado, not PDS tornado. So there still is a risk for tornadoes today, guys. Do not think otherwise. But the higher end, more likely widespread tornado outbreak is definitely still Saturday afternoon and evening. Yeah, exactly. And we got some high bases here too. So that's this LFC LCL here. Oh, Wendy. Welcome, Wendy. Thank you for joining the stream. Guys, if it is your first time, welcome, guys. I'm Stormcat 5. We've got Phil Johnson as well. We are the Stormfront Freaks. Make sure you smash that like button, smash that subscribe button as hard as you possibly can. If you break your mouse doing it and you send me a picture of a broken mouse on Twitter, I'll send you a new one. I'll do it. Don't test me. I will do that. So welcome to the stream, guys. Okay. Phil, anything else? Any final questions or comments you wanted to point out?
No, I think we covered the weekend here pretty good.
Yep.
Just always be safe, everybody. Be weather aware, and whether you're watching a live stream, whether it's Stormcat 5 or whether you're watching your TV news, you've got a weather radio. Make sure your phone is charged. All those things have multiple ways to get warnings.
Yeah, completely agree. Carly asked, how many mouses can we break? It's really up to you, Mama G. It's really up to you, Mama G. You can break as many as you would like. Probably start with one. Please don't do more than one.
We're going to have to start a mouse fund if you keep promoting that.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. It's going to be a problem. We'll see if it actually happens. We'll see if one person actually does it, and then if it starts happening, we'll have to probably make an adjustment to the policy. But guys, so we are going to wrap up here. I won't actually be live tonight. I'll actually be. You can find me. We will be live tomorrow. The reason why I'm not going to be live tonight is I'll actually be on Reed's Reed Timmer's stream from time to time. So I'll be breaking into his stream with like weather updates, radar updates, stuff like that. So go watch his stream. You'll find me there tonight. I want to make sure to get all the kinks out and make sure that I can figure out, and this will be our first time doing it. So that's why I won't be able to stream twice, at night tonight while also doing Reed's thing. So look for the stream tomorrow. Look for me there on Reed's channel tonight. And then tomorrow we should be live sometime in the afternoon. So look for that as well. Guys, thank you so much for joining. Seymour says, computer peripheral plural is mouses. I have no clue. I actually have no clue, Seymour. I don't know what it is plural, but I guess we'll find out. Regardless, guys, if you are out chasing today or tomorrow, if you do have friends or family that live in either of these risks, whether it be the moderate today or the high risk tomorrow, let them know. Please. You guys here are our advocates for everyone for weather, because there's a lot of people that don't take weather seriously. So please let them know that today and tomorrow will be a very dangerous day. We could have several long track tornadoes today. We could have several long track violent tornadoes tomorrow. We could be looking at back on both of these days for a long time, especially tomorrow. So please let those folks know that they need to take that seriously, have a way to get warnings like Phil said. And especially for a lot of those folks down that live in a lot of these trailer parks down here in Mississippi or Alabama, it might be time for them to go, tomorrow to a tornado shelter. They might just want to proactively do that, well in the morning and not wait for things to go downhill in the afternoon. So, well, that about does it, guys. Thank you so much for joining. You feel free to send this video to anyone that's down there to rewatch, and hopefully this will help you guys. And that about does it here for the stream. Phil, any final comments or questions?
Nope. Good luck this weekend, brother.
Yep, you too. And everyone else, Godspeed, stay safe. Stormcat 5, I'll see you on the next one. Oh, stick around to dance. Guys, yeah, thank you to all of our mods. Thank you all of our mods. Thank you for everyone for joining the stream. Now we gotta dance. What? Dance if you want. Dance if you want. What? Come on, baby. I want to see you up and dancing. Come on. Come on. With all the negative that's going to happen the next couple of days, we got to bring some positivity to the world. Bring some positivity. Make sure you like and subscribe. And guys, do something nice for someone today. Spread that love. Do one nice thing for someone. Give someone a hug. Tell them you love them. Mama G is dancing. Caleb, I don't. That is possible, but they haven't done it yet, and they haven't said they're going to do it yet either. But it's definitely possible. I think the more likely scenario to get a PDS watch would be tomorrow. Still possible today, though. We vibing. Straight vibing. Thanks, Beth. No, thank you, Beth. Thank you, Wendy. Gosh. Wendy's awesome. All right, guys, get ready to harmonize at the end. We're almost there. Uh-oh. All right, everyone sing this with me. I guess you can't really sing it. You got to hum it. Oh, 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 oh. Yikes. Peace out, everyone.